Hi, I'm George K, and today we're going to be taking a look at my latest single. I'm going to show you the mix and break it apart. This single I created with American singer Jared, and I'm not gonna try and butcher his last name here. He's a fantastic singer, and I really appreciate him working with me. And yeah, let's have a look at this. Okay, here we go. This is the Logic session. As you can see, quite a lot of tracks. It's 85 tracks, that's quite a lot, at least for my standards. Now, let's have a short little listen to it. And I hope you can hear that amazing stereo ping pong delay. I really love that effect. Now, let's have a look at the guitars first. These guitars were recorded with my red DIY guitar, going into a Micro Terra amp, into a Harley Benton cab, like one of the small ones, with two completely garbage microphones in front of it. Those are summed into this shitty Behringer mixer here. I record my guitars that way usually because I'm not the kind of guy who likes a sparkly, clean pop guitar. I'm a big fan of gritty and dirty guitars. Not necessarily heavy or metal guitars, but dirty with a certain kind of grit. It gives it those harmonic overtones that I really enjoy. Let's listen to that again. It's a very simple guitar setup. It's soloed. As you can hear, there's barely any distortion on it from the amp, and all I did was add a bit of EQ to it and compressor. I did that on all of these three main guitars. Then later we've got some more guitars coming in here. These were just these are the signals straight from the mixer, nothing at all done to it, just a bit of panning and bus routing. Some more guitars here. Yeah, basically just the same recording setup, and over here on guitars 8 and 9, basically what I've done is double the vocal melody. As you can see right here, and these I think are the ones. Yeah, that's basically the guitars for this. I've got some more guitars. Oh yeah, right, these guitars right here, 6 and 7. I've recorded these with this. This is called an EBow. What it does is use a magnetic field to vibrate the strings. Instead of plucking them with a plectrum or with your fingers, you use this, and it gives it this cello-y violin type sound. Let's check it out. It's a very subtle effect, but I love that it's there. Yeah, you can definitely hear it there if you're wearing good headphones. Yeah, then let's get to the bass sound, because I really like cool bass sounds, and I usually do them in a very specific way, which is usually consistent as well across all the tracks I produce. This bass sound is consisting of two separate bass tracks, but they're exactly the same thing, not doubled or anything, just copied. So it's like I split the signal. Now let's check out the whole sound. Yeah, the first one is just here. It's it's this. This sound is to make it a little bit more sparkly, a bit more chorusy, and I've got a compressor on there, an EQ, and a chorus on the pedal board. It's not too complicated. And then the second bass track is this one. It's got an enveloper on it to give it a bit more punch, then an EQ to cut out some of the lows, because the lows are already coming through with the first bass track. You don't need to have two of them, it'll just get muddy. And then we have a guitar amp simulation which it's running through, and a few more EQs and compressors. I really like how dirty and gritty that sounds, and together they sound like this. Then we've got the drums, of course. Since I didn't have the luxury of recording live drums for this, I had to settle for Logic's stock samples. And honestly, I really do like working with Logic's stock samples. They're not bad at all, not as bad as people make them out to be, and I can get some quite good sounds with them. I've layered two drum kits. One is my own creation, the Super Lo-Fi drums, which is just this Logic samples arranged in a different way, and then the Blue Ridge kit with a bit of modification. Together they sound like this. And on its own, the Super Lo-Fi drums sound like this. What is wrong with my computer? Sorry for the slight lags in between. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. When I recorded this the first time yesterday, it all sounded perfect, but I don't know what's wrong here. And as you can hear, the Super Lo-Fi drums are the main drum sound, and the Blue Ridge drums are just there to accentuate them. As you can see here, I've muted most of the other drum sounds on there as well. So it's like this. And it did not like that. Yeah, that's the drum sounds. And let's get to some of the production elements, because I do have quite a few synths in here as well. First of all, in this second verse after the intro, so it's basically, I think it's the first verse, the main guitar's cut out, and instead we have this synth sound. And again with the clicking and cracking, sorry about that. I've got this synth pad, is one of the presets that I've made for my DeepMind 12 back here. It's a fantastic synth, and you're gonna find these synth presets all over the entire album, because I use them all over the place. And following that, I've got another synth sound, this one. I'm sorry for all the crackling lag sounds. Yeah, in the chorus we have these two synth sounds together. And then in the next bit we have this. Let's have a listen to that. And this is one of the chorus bits. I really like the synth sounds on the left and right here. Listen to this. Without the pad sound, it's basically just these two arpeggios. I like how it almost sounds as though they're being ripped out of your ears, because they're like in your face like that. They're also straight from the DeepMind with no post-processing or anything. What I would like to point out is the delays that I have set up. As you can see right here, I've got just two delay buses and one reverb, because it's a very dry sound, this production. This delay bus right here, it's got the snare drum from the drums routed into it. As you can hear, and also it's got the guitars in it. And I like having those two together, because it gives a bit more cohesion when you listen to the full track, because it's the guitar melody and the snare drums are both ping-ponging around your head at the same with the same kind of feel. And that's pretty much all of the production elements. Now let's have a look at the vocals, because Jared sent over quite a lot of vocals. I think it's about 21 tracks or something. And I have done a few corrections here and there. As you can see, I've done some edits down below here. But yeah, let's check it out. In the beginning we have this kind of like choir type thing, and I think it's a really nice entry into the song to start straight with this. Gives it a bit of that ominous, mysterious type feel. Then we set in with these Lane Staley type R's later. I really love that. It gives it that grungy vibe. When you hear that, you know you're in the 90s, basically. As for vocal processing, with these R's and Oms, all I've done basically is just tune them a bit and put some de-essing and compression on there. Now let's check out the rest of the vocals. As you can see, every verse, every chorus has quite a few tracks here.
Take me away from all I know.
I really like how thick that sounds. And as for processing, same thing, just some tuning, obviously, because you do need because this is 2019 and you need to have tuned vocals. Even though Jared's vocals were pretty on point, I don't think the tuning actually did much except for give it a bit more cohesion. Then I've got a very fast 1176 compressor on there, some de-essing and EQ. That's basically what I've done for all the vocals, as you can see. Here the main verse vocals have got some more compression on them and more de-essing, because I don't quite like sharp S sounds, and these vocals weren't recorded perfectly, I feel, but still damn good, and you can't really hear the difference in the full mix anyway. As for the bus processing of the vocals, I've done the same thing pretty much as I have done with the single vocal tracks. I've done put some EQ on it. The Pultec EQ from Logic stock is fantastic, and you should really check it out. I mean, it's really, really cool. If you have Logic, that is. I don't think you can get it in other programs. Then I've got some compression on there and a bit of tape. Run fairly hard, so it's actually doing some tape things. You can just put a tape plugin on there and go, yay, it's done. You actually have to drive it a little, give it a little girth. Then an EQ to cut a lot of the lows. As you can see, I went quite harsh here on the 150, because else it would end up just sounding really muddy and you don't really hear the difference in the full mix. Then some de-essing, and at the end vocal rider. A little tip for vocal rider: as you can see, I've run all of my instrument tracks into this mix bus right here, but not all the vocal tracks, because this mix bus is also sent to the vocal rider, so it actually hears the dynamic changes that occur in the track and applies that to the vocals as well. That's when a vocal rider really shines. You don't just put it on there and expect it to work. And then I have done one more thing which I really, really love with the reverb right here, this Valhalla vintage verb. As you can see, I've put a compressor on the back of a compressor behind it with the sidechain of bus number 7, which is what the same bus, which is the input bus of the reverb. So the compressor gets the same input as the reverb, but before the reverb. Let's listen to that. It's really cool effect. Yeah, you can hear the reverb rising up again. It's a neat little trick I like to use a lot, especially on vocals like this. It's not going to do much on rap vocals or something, but these are nice, long, drawn-out notes that you can actually hear this effect happen. So that was pretty much the mix breakdown of this song. Thank you very much for watching this. If you have come this far, please check it out. It's out on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere else now, and the next EP is coming soon, and I'm going to be doing another video of this, another video like this for one of the songs there. So, hope to see you again next time. Thank you and goodbye.